may live, no matter the language you speak, no matter the tribe you may be, no matter your height and position, unite so we can quench the fire in the country. Remember we are one in the Lord. Remember we are one in the blood. Remember we are brothers in the world. Together we will solve our problems. Together we will save our country. Yes, together we will change the world. Together we shall live forever. Forever we shall live together. Africans unite, unite so we can cross the rivers, unite so we can cross the desert, unite so we can climb the mountains, unite so we can crush apartheid. No matter the color of your eyes and your skin, remember we are one in the Lord. Remember we are one in the blood. Remember we are brothers in the world. Together we will solve our problems. Together we will save our countries. Together we will change the world.
Together we shall win forever. Forever we shall live together. Together we shall win.
La 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 la. Together we shall win forever. Let me hear it. Nigerians unite, no matter the language you speak, no matter the place you may live, no matter the tribe you may be, no matter your height and position, unite so we can quench the fire in the country. Remember we are one in the Lord. Remember we are brothers in the world. Remember we are one in the blood. Together we will solve our problems. Together we will save our country. Oh, together we will change the world.
Together we shall win forever. Forever we shall live together. Together we shall win forever.
Together.
Forever we shall live
Forever.
together. We shall win forever. Forever we shall live.
La 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 Africans unite, unite so we can cross the rivers, unite so we can cross the desert, unite so we can
you very much.
An interactive, open discussion with the assembly here so that we can get to hear some of your views about some of the things that have attained in the association. All the news you've been hearing around, all the things that have been going on, you'll have the opportunity to just voice your opinion. If you look back there, we have 3 of our able sons and daughters and the persons of Mr. Amos Awanja, who is the chair of the resolution committee. You will be assisted by introducing my own dear sister, Annie Dennis, who is the president of our New England chapter. To her immediate right is the national vice president of ULA, the umbrella association of all the Liberian associations in this country, Mr. Gay Sled. Mr. Yano needs no introduction. He's an honorary citizen of the Philadelphia community. He's our former president. And our dynamic, energetic, and young president, Augustine Menier, the post president. Next to Mr. Menier is our national president, Mrs. Khanna. I'm not sure if I know who the young man is, but what's your name, sir? Solo? Arthur Solo? Oh, we have South Dakota in the house. Let's give it up for South Dakota, Mr. Arthur Solo. And we have the vice chairman of the board of directors in the house, Mr. Philip Wablo. Next to Mr. Wablo is the president from our chapter in Florida, Brother Nyayo. You already know your master of ceremony, Mr. Kwame Weeks. There are some other people in the audience that I want to introduce here to this afternoon. I want to recognize 2 members of the Elections Commission that are present here with us this afternoon, Brother Moses Zoyon and Mr. Untitled PHILADELP0HIA. I see the president of the Bison District Association is in the house. Let's give it up for Mr. Alfonso Zia. You know this thing about the women's wing. Mrs. Kompo Shelu Soba, she's in this house. We have one of our elders, who is in fact, I understand he's the chairman of the Elder Council in New England, Mr. Bia. Okay. We also like to recognize Mr. Perry Wallow, the former chairman of the board of directors. He just flew in from Liberia for this convention. And last but not the least, oh no, how can I forget my man JJ? JJ Dennis is special advisor to this committee. And our dear brother and friend, Mr. Timothy Collins, who will be making a presentation along with Mr. Yano on the Constitution Committee. He came all the way from Pittsburgh this morning. Let's give it up for Mr. Collins. And last but not least, I'd like to invite our former chairman of the board of directors, Mr. Jelaru. Will you please come up here for a minute? I beg to go against protocol for a minute, Mr. Ngat and Mr. Jelaru will limit you to 1 minute. He needs to say something to this assembly quickly.
Fellow Nigerians, my mission here is to say a big thank you to my people, to let you know that you made me big, you strengthened me, and I have no words to actually describe it, but the support during my tragedy was overwhelming. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Well, we've just been blessed to have the national chairman of the board of directors to grace the occasion. He just walked in from his flight. Mr. Isaac Hall, let's give it up for him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you will see if what you see here today is anything that's exciting, you wait till we get here tonight. We're having a district queen contest, and we'll also be having are we doing a video presentation? Yeah, there will also be a video presentation this afternoon, right after the Constitution Committee makes a presentation. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we want to formally welcome you to the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Thank you.
Sometimes I wonder whether he's one of us because they say he too bright and his English is very sharp. That's a joke. Yeah. Anyway, let's hear a round of applause again for Brother Steve Bully. Thank you, Honorable Bully. And now, let's move to the chapter's roll call. And that will be done by Mr. Jeremiah G. Sokan, National Secretary General of the GGAA. A round of applause for Jeremiah Sokan.
Mr. Gedeh, Vice President of PHILADELP, Madam Adolphe, President of Delegates Association in America, Inc., Honorable Isaac Ward, the Chairman of the Board of Directors of Delegates Association in America, distinguished Presidents of the Bureau chapters, platform guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This morning, as it has always been the tradition of this organization, this particular moment is specifically dedicated for us to recognize the various chapters that consist of our union. As you all know, that our union comprises and is a chapter base. So this is the moment whereby we recognize them and recognize those who have traveled far in here that in our midst. Without any other delay, I will take this time now to begin the roll call. I would like to begin with New York chapter. The delegates of New York chapter, headed by the President-elect, Mr. Peter Gedeh, are in the house. New York chapter. All right, can we just put our hands together for New York chapter? New York chapter. We go down the list. We will take this time to recognize the chapter of Maryland and the metropolitan areas of DC, headed this time by the President-elect, Mr. Isaac Yah. Is Mr. Yah and the delegation from DC in the house? And by Mr. Ellis Bamon, is the Minnesota chapter in the house. Delegates from Minnesota, put your hands together. Thank you very much. We also have Missouri. Missouri's chapter headed by Mr. Chair Talley. Is Mr. Talley and the delegation from Missouri in the house? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Missouri. We also have the South Dakota's chapter. The South Dakota chapter, headed by Mr. Tillibella, is the South Dakota chapter in the house. Please, the delegation from South Dakota, are in the house. Please put your hands together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We go down the line. Also, we have the chapter from Florida. Florida is headed by Mr. Brian Nayu. Is Florida in the house? Let's put our hands together for Florida. We also have the city of brotherly love. Somebody say a sister LeBlanc. This is Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is headed, or Pennsylvania is headed by Mr. Acostamania. Is Pennsylvania in the house? We also go down the line recognizing New England, which consists of Providence, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and the surrounding major cities. New England is headed by Mrs. Annie Dennis. Is New England in the house? We also have here Illinois, Atlantic Association, Illinois chapter, headed by Mr. George Dallo. Is Illinois in the house? Going down the line, we come to the south. We come to Georgia. Georgia chapter is headed by Mr. Isaac Roberts. Is Georgia in the house? Going down the line, we go to Iowa. Iowa chapter is headed by Mr. Mike Newman. Is Iowa in the house? Let's put our hands together. We also have, at this time, Arizona. Arizona chapter just joined this union on this administration a couple months ago, and this chapter is headed by Ms. Teresa Simple Dian, the delegation and the president of Arizona in the house. Anyone from Arizona? Let's put our hands together. With this said, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and honor to present to this body the chapters, and thus ends the roll call for this section. Thank you very much.
From California.
Okay, that was an oversight.
All right, that sounds I pay membership too, so why not?
I just want to say something to Mr. Baga. I mean, there was no disrespect. I mean, I don't know what's happening in your chapter, but I made it clear that all head of chapters were to come up here. And so, if Brother Isaac didn't come, then apparently he knows that you were here and expected you to come up.
I was not in the home.
Okay, so we made that announcement just to clarify that. Okay, so will you please come and take your seat. Let's hear it for Brother Baba in the house. And she handled them like that professionally. So let's give it up for Annie Cooper Wilson, who will do for us our panel presentation.
Go back here.
Samson Brown Toe, if you're in the house, please come up here. A round of applause for Brother Samson Toe. Membership Committee Chair, Isaac Rule of Minnesota. If you're here, please stand. Okay. Awards Committee Chair, Washington Yole. Unfortunately, he's not here, from Minnesota. Ways and Means Committee, Ransom Wright. Mr. Wright, will you please leave this ticket seller business and come up here? Assign someone, your assistant. We need you up here. Okay? And then I will turn over to Madam Wilson.
One chair on the side. Chair.
Thank you. Madam President, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Mr. William Gedeh, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be part of this discussion this afternoon. We have already, the panelists have already been introduced, but we have to set a little bit of ground rules here. I know previously in the past we bring different people in to talk on different topics, but this particular convention this year, we decided to bring the various committee members so that they can speak to us and educate us on what they do, how they do it, and also how they are bringing Grandians together in unity. So we are going to start by asking each panelist to give a brief presentation, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll entertain questions and answers. Okay.
Okay. I am the chairman for the Education and Training Committee for this administration. And basically my job is to make sure that whatever we do here, whatever fundraising that goes on here, we'll try to apply that to educate our brothers and sisters. And I think my job is very much important. I think in this whole administration, my job, to me, is the most important one. Having said that, this program that we have, if you have your sheet with you, there's a brochure in there. I can give you a little bit of, some of the stuff that we're planning here. So if anybody later on can look at that, that would be fine. Now, when I was asked to head this committee, I was also asked to look back to the previous administration and see if we can get some help from them. And I did that. I spoke with Mrs. Nathaniel, who previously was the head of this committee, and she's been very helpful in putting things together. We have this program. We also have the application forms. We have contracts that's supposed to be with whatever person or whoever person that's supposed to apply for the scholarship has to have a signed contract with the administration. And the intent here is so that our brothers and sisters back home that will be able to, that we can assist back home to go into school and things like that. The intent is whenever they're done with school, they can go back home, back in Grandian County, and do whatever they can do for us, apply if they have the education, teacher training, education degree, or whatever degree they have, and be able to go back home to apply that to help us. And we have a time limit in that. We have 2 years time limit on that. And I discussed that with my boss, and I think she's on board. We also have established an idea. Actually, the idea came about when our next door neighbor, San County group of them came to Sacramento just this from 2 months ago, and they invited me to attend their meeting, of course. And there was an idea that they came up with that they were going to establish a scholarship fund, a scholarship memorial fund for a student like needed student like. And I thought that would be a very neat idea for us also. And I've already discussed that with my boss. And so the thing was, I came up with 3 names. But then within the administration, each time we have meetings, just discussion. I mean, anything we talk about, you don't expect anybody to just come in there and run with any idea, whether you're committee chair or whatever. Put your ideas on the floor and debate it, and make sure you try to explain to us, to convince us that your idea is right. And this is one of the best things that you have done as a president of the administration. Whenever we have meetings, we put everything on the floor, make sure we discuss it. And in our discussion, there was an agreement that perhaps we need to ask the general conference, ask the members of this association to see how best we can apply that. Instead of just having Samson go along, going and selecting names. The name that I selected was Honorable Sarah Group, Honorable Charles Koba, and then Dr. Nathaniel. And I have then Sarah Koba being the education education person, and I went on with Honorable Nathaniel as agriculture person, and then Mr. Brew was for nurse. And so I contacted most of the founding members of these people to see if they have any interest in it. And some of them have expressed interest in it. Some have sent me some information. But again, I'm hoping that the general body will agree on this. And if for some reason the name that I have selected is not something that we all want to do or agreed on, then I would suggest that send me your name, give me an explanation why this person should be selected. Because the thing about it is, once we agree on second name, we're hoping that that becomes something that will carry on after us. And so it will be better that people, all of us, agree on those names that will be put for this program. Because believe it or not, if they are, whether this association accepts something like that or not, members of these family members of these people can do it by themselves. But I thought perhaps if we do that to honor these people that have struggled so hard to help some of us, to have whatever you want to call it, education or whatever it is that we think we have. But at least these people were at the forefront. And so we have to honor them. And I thought we need to do that through this program also. And another thing is, when when I got involved in this association was back in, I believe, was probably 86, 87. And we used to come here, go to the Water House at night, 2 o'clock, and then try to iron out things. So whatever that was going through for me, I think we're cheating the younger generation. Because believe it or not, whatever side you think you're on, whatever side you're from, we have some talented sons and daughters in this association. So we need everybody's cooperation in order to carry out whatever we're trying to do. Education for me is very important. Because without that, how then can you define yourself truly in this civilized world? And so if we all have the opportunity to give back to our brothers and sisters, I think we need to do that. And with such a leadership that is willing to give all of us the opportunity to participate in this, I think we all need to get together and carry on that. So it's very important that we do that. I know my time is up. So, okay. So basically what I'm asking everyone to do is, there's 2 things here that I want us to get out of my presentation. One is that we try to, if we all agree the name that I selected, say it and we go with it. If not, let us see how best we can do what we need to honor these people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We just heard the Education and Training Committee Chair just told us that education is very important because without education you can really go nowhere. And he put on the table 3 names that should be attached to the education scholarship, so we should think about it and see if we agree to these names. Because he feels that if you attach important names to scholarship and education, people would be kind of motivated to buy into it. So let's think about it. Question and answers will come later. The next.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think all of you know me right now. My name is Krayee. I'm the Ways and Means Chairman of GGAA in the U.S. Like what Mr. Toh said, their job is contingent upon the performance of my job. My responsibility is to keep this organization afloat in terms of finances. My job is to make sure I strategize different types of ways to make sure incomes or revenue come to this organization. Since I was appointed to this position pretty close to a year now, it's something that has been one of my focus points. Outside of my school and job, my job with the GGAA has been one of my focus points. Over the period of 4 months, I've been thinking, how can we move this organization from this $133,000 that been in this account for over 5 years to maybe $100,000 or more? How can we move it from that point? That's one of my focus points. And I've been thinking and strategizing how I can raise funds for this organization. Because all of us know, without money, this organization will not stand. Without money, everything we talk here will not come to pass. So every day when I go to bed, before I go to bed, I make sure I think of what can I do as a chairman for this Ways and Means Committee? What can I do to make sure we have money in our account? So I came up with a series of plans. My first plan is to have our Virginian brothers and sisters in Liberia who are musicians to travel to the U.S. to have a country tour to our 12 chapters, like a 12 chapter concerts. That would be a revenue generating arm for us. That was one. The second is to have, because in the past we have only one fundraiser in a year. What I decided was, each chapter is going to have a fundraiser for the national administration. If it costs me to tour this country, I will do it. It's not a problem for me. But I want to make sure that each chapter have a fundraiser. And to do that, I decided to have 2 representations from each chapter on my committee. As we speak right now, my committee stands at over 30 people on my committee from various chapters. So what I'm trying to do is that we move this, because we got to take the organization to the people. If we take the organization to the chapters, they will try to pay us back by raising funds for us. So I discussed with my committee member. My co-chairman is not here today. His name is Tommy Gedeh from New England. And I asked him voluntarily, who will be the first to undertake this project? And New England, Tommy Gedeh volunteered. So right now as we speak, after this convention, there will be a program on the way to have a fundraiser for the national administrator in New England. After that, we're going to be going to Minnesota. So these are programs that are already put in place because we need to move our account further than what we have right now. Another thing that I'm thinking, and I have been thinking, is to see how we can raise a grant. We should not depend on people, convention fees, people meeting dues for chapters. Great decisions are supposed to be above that level by now. But it seems to be we become complacent in ourselves. The way we find ourselves, we became comfortable. We don't want to take challenges. But I'm thinking in that direction that we can strategize how we can raise grants. And to raise grant, I'm working with my brother, Augustine Million.
his ascendance into the leadership of PA, he decided that he can have a headquarters, a hall. Because before you start a recreation, you should have an office space with an address. You can't do anything without that. So I'm trying to work with Augusta to see how, if we get a hall, we get an address, and we can start putting those things into place. As you all know, the material that was shipped to Liberia some months ago, it was through my instrumentality that we had those materials. I don't want to boast of it, because that's my job. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, I have told you my job responsibility. But equally so, I would like to use this time to urge all of us. In as much as we're looking for money for our association, we are also looking for materials for our people, and not only money. I said this before, and I'm saying it again. We need you guys to use your influence on your job, your business entities. If you have any means that you can get materials for us, we will appreciate it. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen and powerful guests, this is my function as a Wisdom Inc. chairman, and I'm willing to work with everybody, to make sure we move our account from where it is now. Thank you.
Thank you. We just heard a Ways and Means Committee chair. You know, he's the person that brings money in. So if we don't have money in the association, we need to blame him. So he has few proposals that all chapters should be involved, not just the national. At the end of the year, we have 1 or 2 programs, but he said all chapters should be involved, and we should also think about grant proposals and things like that. And people that have the means, they can help to bring some material or whatever for the association. We'll turn to the
membership committee. Thank you. Madam President, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Yanu, platform guest, I don't want to make any mistakes here, and Mr. Chairman of the Board of Directors, I am pleased to be here this afternoon, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Since July of last year, we were asked to head the membership committee. Since that time, we have been working with the executive and the board of directors in order to facilitate the work of the membership committee. I do have 2 other individuals as members on this committee. I do have Mr. PHILADELP as my co-chairman, and also Mr. Michael Reeves as the secretary on this committee. I wish to assure everyone here that the membership committee is going to operate in accordance with our constitution. Our association is membership-based, and therefore it is important that all Grandians who are 18 or above are given the opportunity to become members of our association. Now, the Constitution specifies as to how membership should be obtained, and that is clearly stated in our Constitution, and we will definitely do our best to communicate to everyone the requirements for membership. And we do intend to expand our membership to other countries in the Americas. By that I mean, if you do know of anyone who lives in Mexico who is a Grandian, please let us know. We will contact those individuals to obtain membership. If you know of Grandians who live in Canada, please contact us, and we will also contact them so that they may also obtain membership, knowing that our association is the Grandian Association in the Americas. I want to, at this time, relate to us some very important information. One, the national ID cards for the members of the Grand Gedeh Association in the Americas expires May 31st, 2010. Did you hear me? Okay? All right? So let us all know it that as of the end of this month, our membership as members of the association expires. As to why the previous administration decided to select a date which is not the end of the quarter, as we do have it outlined in our association, that I do not know. However, I just want to let us know that by the end of this month, our membership will expire. And I think it's important, and let us take note of it. As such, the membership committee is encouraging all local chapter presidents to submit the names of their active members to the national treasurer with the necessary ID card fees in order to renew their ID cards. Two, the membership committee wishes to state that the national ID cards will be issued and dated for the end of the quarter during which the request for the ID card was submitted. And the membership committee also wishes to state that we will issue photo ID cards. Okay, and if the local chapter is sending the names to the treasurer for membership with the fees, one thing that we also request is that the local chapter president should also include passport size photo IDs of all those who are applying for membership. At the back of those passport size pictures, we ask you to please state the name of the individual whose picture that is, so that we can know this is John Brown's picture, and we can have that ID card prepared for that member. Okay, and the date of the end of the 4 quarters are December 31st, March 31st, June 30th, and September 30th. For example, all requests for ID cards received in April, May, and June, the ID cards will be dated for June 30th. Okay? Now this is very, very important. I want to state this. In order to be able to vote during the 2011 national elections, only those members who submitted their request for membership up to March 31st, 2011 will be allowed to vote. The membership ID cards of those who apply up to March 31st, 2011, those cards will be dated for March 31st, 2011. The list of bona fide members of the Grand Gedeh Association in Americas who are eligible to cast vote in the 2011 national elections will be published in April of 2011. If you are, all those who apply for membership within the Grand Gedeh Association in Americas after March 31st, 2011 will not be able to vote because their ID cards will be dated June 30th, 2011. I hope we really got that message loud and clear. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to sound a little bit controversial here, but I don't mind that. I like that. During the 2010 National Convention of the Grand Gedeh Association in Americas, each bona fide member of the Grand Gedeh Association in Americas is expected to present his or her ID card in order to cast a vote on such issues such as selection of the next election commission for the 2011 elections, selection of the next venue of the Grand Gedeh Associations in America convention for next year. Cast vote on the various resolutions during the national convention. Please bring your ID card with you during the 2010 convention. Thank you. Well, I know it's controversial, so we'll talk about it anyway. So, but I just felt like putting it out there. Well, on a very, very serious note. Yeah. 2010. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you very much. We'll talk about it. I told you I was going to be controversial and I meant to do it. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. On a very, very serious note though, as we celebrate Memorial Day, I want for us to please take a minute of silence to remember our people that were killed through the war. We just take a minute of silence for me, please. Let us sing. Thank you very much. You may be seated. The reason I am bringing this up is for us to know very well that even though the war is over, but yet we have to defend ourselves. As we meet every Memorial Day for our conventions, let us be mindful of what happened to us between December 24, 1989 to 2003. We were subjected to persecution not because of what we did, but because of who we were or who we are. And we should never forget about it. As we speak today, one of our very own, a Nigerian, is today in an American jail, not because of what he did, but because he stood up to say enough is enough. I do not want child labor in Gedeh County. And therefore, Dr. John Bullock decided he's going to kick him out. Today, Dr. Bullock is in jail. Dr. Bullock is a Nigerian. Our Constitution states that we have to seek the interest of Nigerians everywhere, no matter where they are. So I challenge us to do all we can to ensure that Dr. Bullock receives free and fair election, free and fair trial. Okay, free and fair trial is what we will demand for Dr. Bullock. Those people who are pointing fingers at our people, those are the same 2x4. And I said 2x4 so-called human rights activists who are now pointing the finger at Dr. Bullock. These people were the ones who pointed the finger at our people when Charles Taylor is still on this record. What did Charles Taylor do to reward them? He gave them a county. So now, what are they doing for Charles Taylor? They are now turning around to reward Charles Taylor by saying, this person did this, this person did that. What happened to Charles Taylor cannot happen to everyone else. What happened to Adolf Hitler did not happen to the President of America or Germany. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Members Chair. I forgot one of the ground rules. We have to set time limit to the presentation. So each person will have at least 10 minutes. Each person will have maximum 10 minutes for their presentation. Well, we all heard what the membership committee chair said. He's the one that bringing people to us to become part of the association. And there were some rules and regulations that he talked about here, and one of the rules and regulations that probably have to bring some of the problems here is the whole membership thing and registration. And he just gave us a time frame, March 31st, 2011. That's a long time for all of us to get our act together and get our membership business straightened out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will turn to the next committee chair, the powerful Comfort Shelu Subar, Women's Wing Chairlady. Okay, we're gonna make a little change here. I think she wants to get all dolled up first to come here, so she's been running up and down, cooking and preparing and coordinating, so we'll let her off. She will be doing her presentation tonight. I think the last presentation we have here on the program is the awards committee. Mr. Washington Youngly is not here, but there are other members that are being put on the committee, so we ask one of them to just give us a briefing of what they are doing. Is Mr. Alfonso So in the house?
Madam President, Vice President, President Yano, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chairman, thank you for such a unique program. The award committee, under the chairmanship of Mr. Yola, he's not here today. I believe the executive committee is still working out some sort of adjustment. And we are aware the function of the awards committee is to practically interpret the goodness and hard-working members of this association. Realizing what we are going through right now, we felt it is not the right time for us to get business actively going on. So we all know now the entire episode of this Grand Gedeh Association has come to a conclusion through the interventions of our elders and the code as we have been going through. So at the rightful time, the members of the committee, I'm sorry, Mr. Baba is member of the committee. I'm sorry, I don't want to be. And Mr. Moses Elrich is also member of that committee. So as we get in the green light, very shortly, the committee will be coming out to inform the leadership as to when this committee is going to come up with a specific date. But again, we wanted to make sure that Grand Gedeh House is in order, and thanks be to God, we are in order. Now we can go out there and identify members who have worked out so much to reach where we are today. So on that note, Madam President and your officers, we are working and we'll be getting to you shortly on the time frame. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I guess we basically have heard all the various committee chair, the Ways and Means chair, the guys are supposed to bring some money home to us, and his focus is to get the various chapters involved and also to implement programs that will bring money in to the association. And then we have the membership committee chair that just spoke. Deadline for your ID card, March 31st, 2011. We heard from the Education and Training Committee, and they have three focus in terms of education: agricultural, health, and education. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open the floor up now to question and answer. Yes, Mr. Moses Lane.
Thank you very much. To me, I want to say thank you to the various committees. They're working hard and very proud. And the association is doing well so far. But I don't have a direct question. I think a little suggestion I have for the membership committee, especially the ID card. The ID card, you talk about writing the name for the individual at the back. I suggest that it should not be only the name. If you are writing the name, we all know how we came into our country. My name was Moses Zaki in Liberia, but because somebody sent for me and I want to get here, I'm moving to Moses. The name that I have here in America that I work on, that's the name I should register with. Because if you put my original name from Liberia and I come and add special name here in America, it is conflicting. You are confusing the election commission. There will be problem. So you write your name in America with your date of birth. That will also clarify that you are 18 years old and qualified to vote. Thank you.
Any comment to that? 1 minute.
Thank you. We will also ask that they include their date of birth, but we expect for individuals to submit the names that they are new in America.
Is there somebody?
My question is to the Education Committee. I heard a proposal, is there any scholarship that we issue to any Virginia in Liberia during the period of final review? And my second topic is that the names that you gave, Mr. Honorable Saleh Rue, and Aaron Nair, when I look at it, God know them, so I'm thinking Saleh Rue is a politician. He was not educated, he was educated children, and they are my friends, but I think his name doesn't fit all of that. I thought that we could add Jerry, who was educated. So that's my suggestion to the name. On the membership committee, I want to say that the other school of thought is that once you are Nigerian and you're in this country, when election is going on, you should just come and vote. You don't need to register the other brother, but all the written rule. I think, and our people really believe. So how will we address that? Looking at our population here, our brothers, who is 60 born, divided, and the rest of it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Well, the first one here, no, we don't have presently applications or any of that on file as scholarship program that the concerned. We're working on it. Recently, my boss was home and she was able to contact some people over there. We're working on getting more information, and obviously, once that becomes clear, we will then send whatever we have to send to them. And the second thing about Mr. Cooper being a politician, again, again, I think that's one reason why I brought it onto the conference, they said we all decide on that. The idea here to me is we must honor people from Grand Gedeh County, especially in those days. I think there was a gentleman that wrote something here maybe 2 or 3 years ago on the other side, the other people website, but he did point out different commissions that went to Grand Gedeh County and how they were treating our people. Now, can you imagine going to school those days and trying to educate yourself? And these people were able to do that, and they did it well, and on top of that, they didn't just sit down in Monrovia and decide to enjoy themselves. They came back to his regiment. We must honor them.
Okay, I just want to remind everyone again, to ask a question, you have 1 minute, To answer a question, you have 1.5 minutes.
Point of correction, Honorable Cyrus will have to be my father. And the Education Committee is recommending him because of what he did also, and not as the, not for the education scholarship, but for the health scholarship. So I just want to make that clear. Two, when it comes to the membership, we are saying March 31st because we do not want what happened now to happen again. We said April we are going to publish the names of all those who are eligible to vote. So once the list is up, if your name is not on that list, you will not be able to vote. Thank you.
Okay, I will ask Marvin Weeks.
Opportunity. Mr. Rook, I think you're trying to play election commission here. My advice to you is that you play a chairman of the membership committee, and you set up deadline, like you said, March 31st. What happens to those ID cards? I mean, obviously you won't vote, but if you come up here and say those people will not vote, they will think you have an ulterior motive. So that's the point. And another point I want to make also to clarify is with the education committee. These are 3 points I got for you. Set up a form on the Gedeh website, which is very simple, where every time they can have as long as you are Gedeh, then you can go up there, fill up the form, and an automatic response goes to the webmaster, and he reviews who applied that day. And then you have a committee who will look into those names and vet those names. Because when you say, oh, nobody applied yet, where do they apply? They're not going to call. But else, if Sansito has a cousin, he will only pass that information to his cousin back in Gedeh and say, apply scholarship here. And how it is done, nobody will know. And so in this process, it will be done openly and based on merits and not who know you. And then also you want to run an ad in the Liberian newspapers for Liberia, maybe Observer or anyone, for the year. Gedeh Association can pay $200 for a year for just an ad. Visit www.GedehAssociation.com and apply for scholarship only for Gedehans. And that can stay there forever. So if you want to take these points, I think they will really help our association. Thank you.
We've already have that established. We have the forms, we have the application forms, we have the contract. Do I need a mic? We have the application form, we have the contract, everything all set up. The only thing now is where do we put it so that our people will see it? That's about the only problem we have right now. But everything else is my boss I already approved. She ready for the ball. So it's all set up. Right? Yeah.
Panel that will investigate these names when they come.
They already have a committee set up, he says, and everything is going in process. What he said is well taken.
Mr. Padia wants to speak for the membership committee.
All right, I'll let Mr. Nyamu respond.
Yeah, Owen.
Yes, sir.
The thing you talk is good.
Thank you.
But I think I need to say something. Yeah, I need to say. You see, the thing we're talking, they're not technicality. Say the example you give. Krayee come from Liberia today. Then we have an election.
Yeah.
Then you won't come forward. What you know about the organization now that you can't vote for? The thing that been happening here, you are in Liberia, you know. You come today now and say you want to vote and get our president. Yeah. But you don't know what we've been doing here. You don't know the troublemaker in the place. You don't know that. Then you come out and you let somebody. Hey, that Barbara, you let. So what we are saying is, if you want to vote, come here so you will know the vote. So you
So come here, take a little group people so you can do it.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Joe Brent.
Water, I'll bring you water. Okay.
I'm going to get it back and install it in our lab of our scholarship to go to school. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm suggesting that on the names, I think we should table that particular, suggestions now. You can give your suggestion to the scholarship committee after this. We'll entertain other questions. Alfonso.
Yeah, I think the education aspect is important. I want to ask the training committee chairperson, I want to know how is this educational scholarship being apportioned to Grandee? And the reason I'm asking that, Grandee consists of different sections, and I think it would be fair, if you have those information, we can get it to our people, encourage them to be able to go to school, and what are the requirements involved? I don't know that information if it's available, and where can we get that?
Yeah, the information is available. If you come to California, we can provide it for you.
No, seriously. Yeah, we do have that, and I think after by lunchtime is over, I will go out and break all that out, and I have to go and take a look at it. What we did was we have a breakdown, like districts. So we select people from, well, we're not selecting people, we have numbers from the district. So they just have to apply, and then the committee will then locate their applications, or we have to go through districts anyway.
One important thing I want to suggest is everybody here are equally important. So I want to ask the moderator to recognize people in order of the raising hand. I want to go my hand up in all and I'm not recognized. The first thing is, I'm not going to speak to the scholarship. I want to actually speak to the membership. We are actually from South Dakota, and that's why we want to at least participate in this. And this has been our first convention, and we want to get some kind of impression there too. So for the membership, we have little suggestions to make. We really appreciate how you put your membership together and create this scholarship, the ID that you want to present, and how the list should be final by the deadline before the election. That is very good to keep track of the number that's supposed to vote. Now, one thing is since a membership base, we already started some other projects. So we want to work with the membership committee so that we give a portion of our stuff that we want. For instance, we have some ID already printed out, for our chapter. So we want to work with the membership, we want to appeal to the membership, so we already have some ID printed out. We can work something out so that our ID that we entrust our people with our big, they understand that it's valid, so that the national or assembly ID will not completely override. So we will get our list that we said. We will give you all the information you need. But we want to appeal to the membership committee that our ID should stand for our chapter, and we will endorse it for that ID to be used for the national election, or whatever information there and whatever contribution is supposed to make towards that, we want to accept it. But we now want the national administration ID to override our ID, then our projects that we run there will be override, and we now have no way to let our people know what we went through. So we want to talk to you, concerning that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I want to welcome the members from South Dakota. And to everyone, I assure that everyone will be given the opportunity to at least say something. So if I pass by you now, you can rest assured I will come back another time. Thank you.
What I wanted to say here that I'm part of the membership committee. I'm the co-chair of
lot of the problems that we had. But my meetings are a little bit weak when it comes to going into the Constitution, actually reading the Constitution, and finding out what the Constitution says on many things. The reason why the Constitution is reading is all not to have conflict. So it is the only reason, instrument that we have to be able to settle some of the confusions that we have. So always look at the Constitution. One thing, the membership committee is the one that will be able to certify the members. Okay, the commission, the election commission, only certify the candidates. So if you want to make sure that you're a bona fide member, make sure you have that ID card. And if the election commission says that you will vote with the national ID card, of course the Constitution also says that, then that's why you need to vote. You know, so make sure that, because the election commission is not in all the chapters to know who paid dues, who doesn't pay dues, so we don't want to take that. The election commission will not take on that. But the membership committee is the one that will make sure that you are registered for your members, that you are paying dues, so they're the one who certify members. I want you guys to know that I'm a president of what you said, that's why.
Thank you. I want to remind everyone again, if you're asking questions, you have 1 minute. The panelists have 1.5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Solo Alker. I'm the General Secretary for South Dakota Chapter. So let's just give me 4 times. I'm going to take this time to introduce my delegate. I'm right on with me. I've never seen my name, and I don't want to say that I was just to get here. First, Arizona, my planning committee chairman. Delegates, 4, my organizer. Third, Cecilia chairman. The last but not least, Moses, Board, Adam. Now, Sarah, I took upon your time, and we're discussing the ID stuff. I want to still continue with my organizer. The reason why we're trying to stress on the ID project is we are not a profit organization. We know we're trying to generate funds. So if the national board will override some the ID project, we will be able to come up with like annual dues that we're supposed to pay to the board. And we got ID that carries our state information that we have on our state IDs, also on our IDs. So when we come into the membership board, this information is going to be on the same form that we said over there. So we really need the chairman to look at that form and give us that opportunity to be able to use it.
Thank you. I'm sure that point is well taken by the membership committee. Do you need to respond? 1 minute, please.
What I want to say quickly is that local membership ID cards will be valid for local purposes, and national ID card will be used for national purposes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is Robert Gedeh. I don't want to make a few comments. One of the things I want to say is that we have problems. Problem is that we don't read. If you read the Constitution, or if you read the Constitution carefully, it says that if you enter America and JFK, you are automatically a member. But this is not a market ground. When you enter the market, you just say a rules. You have to go through the procedure. You got the market, you got a table, you got a race. So if you come to America and you are a member of a association, show your membership, pay your dues, and then we won't have the problem that the woman just talked about. And another thing is, when we read, we don't understand. We just run through the words. Locality, and all the like the Constitution. Let's try to understand it well. And we shouldn't use them as a scapegoat to accomplish some set of selfish needs. Education community, you are very important. Ways and means, you are very important. We want you to communicate well to us. I don't know where, but most of them don't read internet. So sometimes use the mailbox.
I will see it. Yeah. Some of the two judges don't have time to go to either end. Yeah, I don't read. They say that somebody will read it for them, but somebody can't read internet for them. So please, let us make it wise. Thank you.
Thank you. I know this scholarship thing I've been hearing, it's not a scholarship, but the membership thing I've been hearing a lot of things. And I think the common thing here is that we are trying to put a system in place. And we cannot put a system in place when everybody's doing their own thing. I think that's the biggest problem here. Mr. City.
Thank you. I was asked something from the beginning of the work I had. We were never, I think it was 4 minutes before I have a hand. But anyway, you're coming at this, I'm a desk here. 1 minute. No, wait, back up. Then I'll be the one to respond. All right, thank you very much. My question here is for the chair of the membership, Mr. Rue. You said that ID card will have a picture of the ID card. Can you let the members of the Medicare Association or whether how much will it be a fee or will it be a simple fee because we don't know? 2, education and training. You said that you want to honor the scholarship in the name of our elders or who have been doing excellent job in Africa and in Grandia. But I don't want to be careful because you can have a committee to really check and come up with a good decision. Because they said we have 2 or 3 people. You may be my best, the best person in Grandia. I don't want to talk about that. And Mr. Ronson, I want to say thank you because since you're here appointed, you have been very excellent. And you're always in constant contact with the president and you're doing a good job. But my question is that you said that you want to have the chapter, the graduate students going from chapter to chapter to corporation. And are you also in contact with the chapter president or you only in contact with your committee that you're putting in chapter? You're going to be aware of that because some of the members you are appointed, some of the very good chapter meeting. And we don't want it to become a failure. I'm just giving you any money. But if you tell what the ID card, the price of the ID card, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City. Again, I think we were asking everybody either to submit a name, but this is about our appointed in each position, if I may say so. We're very qualified, and I think we can make decisions without being concerned with what people might say about us. Having said that, we're also brothers and sisters. We like to respect people, and that's one reason why we're coming over here. But here's the problem, though. If we cannot come up with, as a group, come up with names, because if that's okay, why can't I just leave Samson 12 or Ometo from Town? Because of how much he help people, why can't I just go ahead and do that? Then the other person from a different village will do the same thing. Where do we go to say we're going to start? So the point I'm trying to make is, and I just confirmed that with my boss, I think we like to have names here today. If not, we just go with the 3 names that I selected, and then hopefully that will get. Because we need to carry on these programs. We're not going to stay in this office there for 2, 3 more years, but we need to have something. That's the point we're trying to make here.
Thank you.
Yeah, the people got
Thank you very much, Board Member City, for your question. I just wish to state here that my committee submitted its budget to the executive submitted their budget to the board of directors, and the board of directors has approved that the membership ID card is to be $10 for each ID card. And we are looking at According to the budget, we are looking at mobilizing at least 1,000 new members, and 1,000 times 10 is good, $10,000. So my committee is hoping to raise $10,000 with your help. Thank you.
Mr. Singh, thank you for your question. When I first came up with this idea to take the national administration to the different chapters, I compared meeting I called the presidents individually to speak with them, my intentions. And a lot of those presidents that I spoke with embraced the idea. And based on that, I actually submitted 2 names to my committee, and that's what it is. So I'm in contact with them. And after this convention, I have a scheduled meeting that I have to have with them so we can go to come with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 15 more minutes of questions and answers. So please make it brief.
Next time we'll sit down in program.
Thank you for finally inviting me. I've been here like a few minutes now, and what I see so far, and I go back to the only one we don't need technicality. They say 1 minute, and some people are just taking 5 minutes. They can't stay with 1 minute. But my question goes to the education about the scholarship. If I want to speak correctly, you said you're going to split it into the girl district. And I think that's not the way yet. For scholarship, we got to have a student, all students are very high. So we have basic criteria, basic rules that you have to meet. So if you say, well, this year we have to take this student to class, this student, why you don't need it? Say you need people, people don't need people, and you are not going to reward people from all of this, and when you have this, some people have to meet the requirement better. So I disagree with, for scholarship, I disagree splitting the big district. That is student go out there, if all the best students come, all the students, that's all we have.
The point is, that's fine. But the way I did that was this. We select people that come from each district. We have a criteria set. We have a grade point that we want. So if you're from Basel district, not every student from Basel district is capable of getting whatever point that we want. We all know that. So we have Queen district, we have Chien district, we have Basel district. So if you're coming from Basel district, people are going to have to compete for the program. Chien district going to have to compete for the district. Okay? But the point here is, if you say, okay, well, let's just say everybody student from Grand can go ahead and compete. Okay? Where do we have most of the students now going to high school? East Lebanon. Okay? So why the East Lebanon, their resume is in Chien district. So what is it that all these students from Chien district, even if they're from Total or Basel district, but the fact that they're East Lebanon, their resume is in Chien district. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So that people from these different districts, you come on, if you fail to meet that criteria, obviously we're not going to select. We know that. But we'll give you the opportunity to everybody.
Thank you. I'll recognize Fred.
Thank you. Well, further on the comment that the 3 committees that spoke, there was no one committee I read it, he said, and so I was me. He said, the 2 committees I all spoke, Mr. Renzi Wright and Mr. Tour, all I heard, I. What is also this I? I mean, is it you would request in the committee, or you just, nominate folks in the committee? That's just a comment. The question I have for the committee is that we just never started today. They said there was 2 or 3 presidents before Mrs. Thomas. I believe there was a program, started a program. What are we doing? I'm trying to strike out to everything else that was on then and start anew, or you are building on what we left there. Because I know each administration has to develop its own policies, but at least maybe the association when we start as high look at it and take it. You'll find, at least I think you'll find something one who think there, and you can continue from there instead of trying to erase everything and trying to go back to 0 point. To the Lordship Committee, you said that you were giving deadlines and we all know this committee that called on our Constitution. Now, everything that you said that has been put out, I know we're trying to amend this Constitution today, so hopefully most of these things will try to go over there. Most of the deadline, I don't think they come to our Constitution, or they're just particular deadline that they bring from anywhere that is looking at our house.
All right. 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Fred, thank you very much. We, Senator and I. No, secretly. When I use the word I'm just representing. Let's put it that way. I always say it when and I respect that. Thank you very much.
Samson, what's the plural? We.
All right, the professor just said that, so let's discuss that. As far as the past scholarship program, again, I apologize. You guys should have a bunch of papers laid out here so people can vote. We have all that taken care of. In fact, some of our explanation come from the Gedeh administration. There's no question about it. If you read that, go back and read Gedeh stuff, you'll find that we did get some of the ideas also. So it's not that we're just going from the start. As I mentioned earlier, Mrs. Yano is our senior advisor, so she's very much involved. Anything that we put out there, we make sure we run it by her, and then whenever she says fine, we send it to us, she approves it, and then we go on. So everything is, we're doing the best we can. Thank you. But if you have ideas, feel free to
Mr. William, just on the shoulder, I do apologize for that word. I mean, I'm one of the persons that I'm very, very critical when somebody speaks out with them. So I do apologize.
Well, I think what Mr. Williams said is important. I wish to clarify. I wish maybe I spoke a little fast, but when I read what I read, I say that the membership committee wishes to state that national ID cards will be issued and dated for the end of the quarter during which the request for the ID cards were submitted. The date of the end of the 4 quarters are December 31st, March 31st, June 30th, and September 30th. That is in accordance with our national constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. I will entertain 4 more questions.
All right, thank you. I want to come here to get reports and also give feedback. And when these committees are coming, I will advise that they come with documents, so that people can read and know the details of these things that are going on, and will be able to better address them. That aside, I want to also find out at what level the education committee is going to select students, because we need to focus on our needs. In Grand Gedeh, we don't have medical personnel there working, we don't have teachers of our own, we don't have engineers, lawyers, and all of that. So you need to, I want to know whether there's a point of start. And then also, is there any mechanism in place where when people are given these scholarships and they graduate, for them to go back and serve the people in Grand Gedeh? So those points, if they are not in your documents, I want you to look at them.
I don't think you need to respond to that. You look into your document and you can work with that.
4 more questions.
We have you.
happy to be among my brothers and sisters, my elders. I'm actually Amos Talley. I bring you greetings. I mean, this is my first time after 11 years to be part of this, situation here with respect to your annual convention. I am kind of saddened by, the real emphasis that I see. Because the name Grand Gedeh is bigger than all of us sitting here. I believe that, maybe we have forgotten that 1990 was intended to erase the names Grand Gedeh or Crown for that matter. And we continue to criticize government, that government is not doing nothing for us. We continue to sit on the sideline and see our country or our county being decimated because of inadequacy. I'm here today to let you know, people, we need to rededicate ourselves to this effort because Grand Gedeh is still on the map, and we have to make it one of the best because we produced the 18th or 19th president of the United States, of Liberia. Samuel Kanya's name will be erased if Grand Gedeh is erased, and I'm sure all of you here will not take pride in that. I'm here to let you know, young people, this is our time, this is your time, this is your day. We should not catch the government ballot you don't well. But sometimes as you get older, your wisdom gets bigger, then you begin to think beyond. So the old man is thinking beyond. But we as a people, we have to unite our forces. We need to come together. I will be working with my brothers on the stage. I want to be able so that we can raise $100,000 for the Matakama hospital because I went to the poverty reduction stuff. From Nima County and all of the counties, they show education, they show infrastructure. They got to Grand Gedeh, it's a police checkpoint. And praising. Proud people, let us wake up. It's time for us to wake up. $5, $10, $1 is a challenge. We can make it because then other people will help us. I have all, already made a good man pledge. I donated 4 boxes of medicine to the president. I did not want recognition for that. I'm willing to do more because I think this is a laudable effort. We need to come together, people, old, young, middle age. Let us come together. Grand Gedeh is our heritage, and we have to preserve it. Thank you.
Thank you for that statement. I will entertain questions from the last 3 people, the last 4 people. Mr. Otto, Mr. Wagner, J.J. Dennis, and the president.
Thank you very much. I think the uniqueness of this committee will be the number of people you have on the committee. Most of the time we carry the heavy load because we want to use our head, not other people. So what I really want to know is that the committee, if you're a chairperson of the committee, try to give us a list of people that are working with you. So when we can't get to you, we'll be able to get to the other person. You can't be the chairman or the chair lady, and then we don't know your we don't know who's working with you. That's the best thing that we want to do so that we can be able to get to you or to get to the other person. So if they can start meeting who's working with them, it will be better for some of us to know. Thank you.
All right, you heard that.
Thank you. Welcome to everybody. I have a question and regarding the scholarship program. In fact, it's a follow-up for Fred. One thing I've learned from the previous administration is that trademark is to make other people look bad. And that previously we spent a lot of money on the scholarship program. Now, their claim was the scholarship program was a fraud. I don't know whether the president, during a visit to Liberia, did some investigation, and whether you, the group chair of the scholarship committee, has some information as to whether actually the program, the one that was being done, there's somebody at this day, independent of the student, with intent, with independent of the program. Do you have any idea?
Well, as I said, when my boss went to the university, I contact with people that go to have all this information. But as far as the scholarship, the program, and that thing was about fraud and things like that. It's a funny story. It was maybe about 2 years or so ago, there was a kid that wrote something, and I don't know his age, I'm just saying kid, because of course I don't know this, but he wrote something challenging Mr. Yanu on this particular scholarship program. And Yanu responded and sent all the receipts and photocopy all the receipts, scanned and sent it. The next day, the guy came and said, "With all that stuff, I still don't believe you. So you got to send more." Basically, what I'm saying here is that I think those of us that are involved in these type of stuff, character is very important. And if you work with people, you tend to understand exactly who they are sometimes. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to go back to investigate as to what had happened in the past with respect to the scholarship program. My intent and my stuff right now as a chairperson, what we going to be doing is to make sure that our brothers and sisters back home are set up. And we have a program that is in place. The way to deal with this, people will not accuse her of what they accuse the past administration. We're learning from the past administration. So that's education. That's how you get through things. Anyway, so well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have serious concern when it comes to looking at development language. We here in America want to be the best for our country because it's love. We want to do all that we can to see how people live a better life. Education means to me, as an old teacher, is to make life more livable. This is livable. It's not to punish somebody like the old teacher used to do. I'll give you a test today, you. When you party, then you man. That's what we want. So we want to do the best. But the question is, where is the pillar of money that we can go to get money every day to be able to support, sustain the project that we do back home? You don't expect to come to my pocket. I have more college students on my pocket that I cannot even afford. So we need a source in America that we would go to every day, every night to make money. I don't see any of this against any of the banks. One. Two, let's put a little bit of a joke here. Silas Rube was a teacher for AG Mission from Kudu to Kunemo to Zwedu. So he was one of those pillars of education in Gedeh County. That's for your information. The question I have for you is this: how would you do the evaluation of those scholarships that you are requesting? How would you do it? There's a deficit of character back home. Our people are not trusted since this war. There's a deficit. Let's take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. I try to avoid explaining without having something in front of you, but I think it's with your appointment, I think it's very important that we do that. In the program, one of the ways that we try to attack that, specifically the point about how do you evaluate students back home, is to say, okay, somebody in the engineering program, instead of going to the graduate student president to give us an assessment of this person, we're going to go to the head of this department
okay, to say, what are these students that are on this list, can you give us an assessment of their abilities as far as this program is concerned? One thing. Secondly, if we're going to say, okay, you, the student, we're going to reward you or give you this scholarship, okay, we have forms that you're going to fill out, not just one form. We have reference forms that people, and not just from my uncle, we want somebody that we can contact and will be able to give us some credible information about you. So all of these things are in place, okay? But let us don't forget now that while we're here, Samson, so I can leave from here right now and go to my brother's house and have a nice kiss, I'll leave and move on. There are kids back home right now, okay, that are still doing things that we used to do by eating red oil before you go to school, okay? If they need help, I don't think for us to sit here and say, oh, you're going to go and meet this particular criteria in order for us to help you. If we find that this kid is serious, will help us out in the future when he's done, I think we have to extend any help. And that's how we're trying to approach that.
Thank you. We're going to entertain our last question for the afternoon. And before we entertain this question, I'd like to introduce Mr. Peter Gedeh, is the current president of the New York chapter.
Thank you, Madam Wilson. I've been introduced. I was about to introduce myself. But I just want to make a comment and also ask a question. But before I go into that, I want to take 30 seconds, because I have 1 minute, to introduce my members that came with me today from New York chapter. And I want to, if you are here, please stand up because there's a lot of people here. Okay, we have Charles Cobo, the Secretary General, his wife, Nathaniel passed away, lost his Krayee, his brother, and yeah, I'm sorry. Former President, no, I'm not official. And then also, Gedeh, the backyard, Ellen, Copa, and Mr. PHILADELP0HIA. And I'm thinking the former president last. She's the mother of our chapter. You know, when the chapter was down, when we were looking for leadership, she came forth and stood like a woman. And that's the blessing that we are all enjoying today. Let me want a hand clap. How was it? Yeah. And you know, she's still with this administration. My question here is that I think my chairman already asked the question, but what I want to find out, I want to know the scholarship that you are offering to Nigerians. What are the different departments or different areas that you are offering this scholarship? And then my comment here is that most of the time I see things on the internet, communication back and forth. So I just want to suggest or appeal to the general body that if you have any important information that you want to be disseminated to the members of this organization, please write directly to the chapter leaders. Write directly to the chapter leaders. Because most of the time I see things and I don't respond to it. Because it's not directed to me. And don't be surprised if you say information out there and you are not getting response from the leaders. Because if you don't write it directly, you don't expect me to write it back. So I want to take it into serious consideration. Thank you. And just give a breakdown to the area where the different department that is starting your offer.
Thank you. I think I resign. No. No, seriously. As I stated earlier, my boss and the Secretary General, they were all home. And in fact, when I spoke with the Secretary the other day, he said, gave me a lot of information. I think the area that we're trying to select here, to me, has to be an area that these kids kids or these students that will graduate will be able to go back because it's in our contract that we have done. We go back to Grand Gedeh and help people. So the area that we're going to emphasize on are those areas that will be helpful for people back home. And I think the president has selected a few of those, and they're on the list. So once we bring it out here, we will show this.
Thank you very much. Well, we called on it.
One last thing, I think after this I'll be done, and that is, please, before we leave today, let us agree on the Memorial Scholarship Program names, so that we, the administration, can move on and try to put stuff in place for us to see how best we can do fundraising. As we stated earlier, one of the things we're doing with this scholarship, Memorial Scholarship Program, we're hoping that our brother here, once he knows we all agree we're going to honor his father. Hopefully he won't be sitting with literally $4,000 or $5,000 our way. So this is kind of stuff.
We heard everything that was said by the various committees tonight and this evening, and I will personally ask each and every one of us to get in touch with them in whichever way we can, because Great Gedeh needs to move forward. We have so many things at stake, and we need to take this very seriously. We have one more person and on the committee, and that's the Women's Wing Chair. She will be making her presentation later on during the day or evening hours. I just want to say thank you so much to the planning committee for giving me the opportunity to be a moderator.
Again, that was the beautiful voice of Madam Annie Coco Wilson, who does it better all times. You know, they say in everything you need a little humor. And they've been attacking my brother Samson Toe, because you gotta be proud of Nigerians. When it comes to the goat business, you don't play with them. I tell you, Chiang guy was walking with this white guy in the forest, and it passed next to his mom's farm. And he heard something was crying in the forest. So he yelled. He said, "Oh, that painted girl." So the white guy said, "Wow, I think we need to work our work." So that's how you have to work, definitely. It's that painted girl. So you be proud of yourself. You know, a lot of Trump words are borrowed. You want, just let me know. Okay, so before I call on the national president, I will be honored to welcome our state person, the chairman of the New England Councils of Elders. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome John D. Will.
Madam President, members of the Board of Directors, fellow Nigerians, ladies and gentlemen, I brought a greeting from all of my elders of New England chapter to you all. And this is my first time attending this the convention, Grand Gedeh convention, if I'm not mistaken. Because the convention that was here at the time in Worcester, that was the time I arrived, Mr. Young administration. And since then, I have not been chance to attend the convention, my first time attending this convention. And my fellow Nigerians, I'm surprised this afternoon. Look at all these empty chairs. We, the elders of New England,
we are actually neutral and sober, and actually means to put things together. When I went there, really, even though the Council of Error was existing, but to me, it was not satisfactory. One man, what is the woman? The woman who died. Yeah. Now, okay. You saw me rest in peace. Mr. Willis Flam, when he went there, he told him why and reorganized us. And then, after that, I was chairman for the council. During the war, I was serving as General Secretary for the Grand Gedeh Council of Elders in Liberia at the time. For my people, we experienced so many things, and I don't want it to be repeated. You see, during those days we have the yoke of Krayee party, so say one, so say all has been damaged ever since by PRC government. But yet, some people say having the notion, carry the notion among us, we the elders, and we will not tolerate that. We will not. I'm supposed to account with 8 elders from our area, but because you know this place here, Philadelphia, is not a Grand Gedeh. They're not the only place the elders are. Elders in various chapters. In case of any eventuality, they're supposed to have in touch with